Israel has never been one to back down from a challenge, especially when it comes to water management. With vast arid landscapes and limited freshwater sources, the country has long relied on innovation to defy nature itself. But in a bold move, Israelis poured a staggering 1 billion tons of unsalted water into the desert. At first, it seemed like a futile endeavor, but as the years passed, something extraordinary began to unfold. What exactly did this massive experiment reveal about the future of drylands? Let's find out. Transforming the barren, Israel's fight against one of the harshest deserts. The Negev Desert in Israel is an unforgiving place, mirroring some of the harshest desert conditions found across the globe. Its climate swings between extremes. Summer temperatures soar past 120 degrees Fahrenheit, making it nearly impossible to endure the midday heat, while winter nights drop significantly, though rarely freezing. Rain is a rare luxury, and in some parts of the desert, it is almost non-existent. In the southernmost regions, the dry spell lasts nearly all year, with an average annual precipitation of barely 0.9 inches. Even in the more fortunate northern Negev, where rain is relatively more frequent, the yearly total still only reaches about 8 inches, surprisingly high compared to the vast Sahara, which averages around 4 inches annually. The landscape is equally formidable. Towering dunes rise to 100 feet high, while sharp, rugged mountains and deep craters carve through the barren terrain. Sparse vegetation clings to survival. Low-lying shrubs, scattered bushes, and the occasional short tree dot the landscape in defiance of the desert's merciless nature. To the untrained eye, this place might seem inhospitable, uninhabitable, and even useless. However, for Israel, a country constantly battling geographical limitations, the Negev presented an immense challenge that could not be ignored. Here's the problem. Israel is small. The entire country spans just 8,100 square miles, ranking a mere 148th in global land area. Yet the Negev Desert alone consumes a staggering 5,000 square miles, claiming more than half of the country's total land. With such a vast portion of the nation covered in arid, lifeless terrain, Israel faced a daunting reality. How could it afford to let such a significant portion of its land remain barren? This question wasn't lost on Israel's leaders, particularly David Ben-Gurion, one of the most influential figures in the country's history. He believed the Negev had untapped potential and passionately advocated for its development. Though he never lived to witness the dramatic transformation that would unfold, his vision set the foundation for a groundbreaking shift in the desert's fate. But how do you make an unyielding desert bloom? The answer lay in something seemingly unthinkable: pouring massive amounts of water into this dry, lifeless expanse. With an intricate national water supply system in place, the Israelis began diverting enormous volumes of water to the Negev, defying nature itself. What happened next was beyond anyone's expectations. The project, which started in 1964, would soon lead to a revelation that left experts stunned. But what unexpected result did all this water bring to the desert? Stay tuned to find out. Turning the barren Negev green, Israel's bold water experiment. In 1964, Israel completed one of its most ambitious projects, a massive water transportation system designed to pump fresh water from the Sea of Galilee, the country's most important reservoir, to the densely populated central regions in the arid south. The network stretched over 80 miles and comprised enormous pipelines, open channels, tunnels, reservoirs, and powerful pumping stations. These stations could transport an astonishing 19 million gallons of water per hour, or nearly 450 million gallons per day. At first glance, it might seem like this system barely supplies the Negev Desert, as the main pipeline only skirts its western edge. But this is just the backbone of the operation. A complex web of secondary branches extends deep into the desert, ensuring that critical locations, including Beersheba, home to more than 200,000 people, receive a steady water supply. Beersheba is among the 10 largest cities in Israel, a testament to how well the water infrastructure supports life in the desert. What was once an unforgiving landscape, where only camels and nomadic tribes could survive, has now become a thriving urban center. For decades, this system ensured that the Negev remained habitable, but then disaster struck. A severe drought drastically reduced water levels in the Sea of Galilee, threatening to upend Israel's delicate water balance. With freshwater reserves dwindling, the country had to act fast. The solution? A bold reliance on desalination technology. To address the crisis, Israel expanded its desalination capacity, constructing advanced facilities along the Mediterranean coast. These stations, interconnected with the national water system, were capable of converting up to 39 billion gallons of seawater into fresh, drinkable water. The most sophisticated of these facilities, the Sorek desalination plant, became one of the largest in the world. To integrate desalinated water into the national grid, Israel invested a staggering $250 million in infrastructure, allowing water from the Mediterranean to flow into the Sea of Galilee and, ultimately, into the Negev desert. The transformation was remarkable. Hundreds of millions of gallons of previously unusable seawater were now sustaining life in one of the world's harshest deserts. But beyond sheer volume, the system's efficiency was also groundbreaking. While water loss in Israel's network was kept to just 3%, other countries fared significantly worse. 20% in the UK, 50% in Bulgaria, and an alarming 70% in Romania. Every drop of desalinated water in Israel was maximized to its full potential. The Negev also tapped into underground sources, primarily the mountain aquifer. This natural reservoir had a sustainable yield of about 95 billion gallons per year, but demand far exceeded that. By 2023, Israel was extracting nearly 158 billion gallons annually, twice the recommended amount. Over-extraction posed a serious risk, as aquifers require time to replenish. If depleted too quickly, they could dry up entirely, an alarming prospect for a nation where water scarcity is a constant threat. Desalination breakthrough. But could turning seawater into fresh water truly be a long-term solution? Or was Israel unknowingly stepping into another crisis? Desalination and innovation, securing water for Israel's arid future. Israel's underground water reserves face a major threat: saltwater intrusion from lower layers, which could render them undrinkable. To combat this, Israel has shifted focus to high-tech desalination rather than over-extracting groundwater, ensuring long-term water security for the Negev desert. Another crucial water source in this arid region is recycled wastewater. Since the early 2000s, Israel has invested over $750 million in wastewater treatment, constructing 67 large-scale processing plants. 10 of these facilities alone purify over 56% of the nation's wastewater. Today, Israel recycles an astounding 87% of its wastewater, far surpassing the US, where the figure remains under 10%. At the heart of this effort is the Shafdan wastewater treatment plant near Tel Aviv. Processing 97 million gallons daily, it supplies reclaimed water to the Negev, irrigating nearly 60% of its greenery. This transformation has turned vast barren landscapes into thriving ecosystems. One of the most remarkable results is the Yatir Forest, Israel's largest planted forest. It covers 11 square miles and has over 4 million trees, primarily Aleppo pines. Without human intervention, the land would have remained barren, covered in sparse shrubs like Jerusalem sage. But Yatir Forest isn't just for aesthetics. For over 60 years, it has served as a barrier against the advancing Negev desert, halting its spread. Additionally, it acts as a massive carbon sink, absorbing atmospheric carbon dioxide on par with wetter climate forests. Beyond environmental benefits, Yatir is a research hub. It plays a key role in NASA's FluxNet project, studying carbon exchange between land and atmosphere. Researchers from the Arava Institute for Environmental Studies are also experimenting with drought-resistant crops like dates and grapes, offering solutions for farming in arid, saline regions. Yet the forest faces mounting challenges. Prolonged droughts have caused 5 to 10% of the trees to wither, with climate change slowing recovery. Livestock grazing further threatens new saplings while disrupting fragile soil crusts and has impacted local wildlife dependent on open landscapes. Despite these hurdles, Israel continues pushing the limits of what's possible in drylands. But beyond reforestation, how has the Negev become an unlikely hub for agricultural innovations? How Israel transforms deserts into thriving agriculture. Israel has transformed its agriculture into one of the most advanced in the world, achieving remarkable efficiency despite its arid landscape. The country is a global leader in milk production, yielding an astonishing 3,430 gallons per cow. far surpassing North America's 2,640 gallons and Europe's 1,580. Similarly, its tomato harvest reaches 300 tons per 2.4 acres, compared to the global average of just 50 tons. Even citrus production thrives, with yields of 262 tons per 2.4 acres, outpacing North America and Europe. The Negev Desert, covering more than half of Israel, contributes a surprising 40% of the country's agriculture. Here, farmers successfully cultivate sunflowers, wheat, melons, chickpeas, pomegranates, almonds, and olives. Even cotton, one of the most water-intensive crops, flourishes in this extreme environment. In good seasons, farms in the Negev achieve impressive yields, such as 3.5 tons of sunflowers, 7 tons of wheat, and 6.5 tons of cotton per 2.4 acres. Despite its small landmass, Israel outperforms much larger countries in agricultural productivity. But how does this desert nation achieve such agricultural feats? The answer lies in an advanced water management system. Desalinated Mediterranean water, underground reserves, and recycled wastewater sustain crops that would otherwise be impossible to grow in such a dry climate. However, simply flooding fields with water would be wasteful, so innovation is key. Drip irrigation, pioneered in Israel in the 1950s, revolutionized farming by delivering small, precise amounts of water directly to plant roots. This technique minimizes waste, prevents soil erosion, and reduces weed growth. Although costlier than traditional methods, its efficiency makes it invaluable, allowing Israel to not only feed itself, but also export produce worldwide. Beyond crops, Israel has even mastered fish farming in the desert. Hidden beneath the Negev's dry terrain lies naturally warm water, remnants of ancient rainfall trapped underground. Scientists discovered that these geothermal waters, at about 104 degrees Fahrenheit, provide the perfect conditions for fish like tilapia and barramundi. These fish aren't just for consumption, they're metabolic byproducts in rich water, which is then repurposed to irrigate crops. This closed-loop system ensures that nothing goes to waste. One commercial fish farm alone produces 2,000 tons of barramundi annually on an 86-acre plot. The water is carefully managed, cycling between aquaculture and irrigation to support nearby olive groves. This synergy between fish farming and agriculture has redefined what's possible in extreme environments. Harnessing the sun, how the Negev Desert is powering Israel's future. Israel's first prime minister, David Ben-Gurion, once envisioned the country's arid south playing a crucial role in securing water and energy for the nation. While he likely imagined that desalination would help sustain agriculture, he may not have foreseen that Israel's innovations would eventually shape global solutions. But beyond water, the Negev Desert is proving to be a powerhouse for renewable energy. With endless sunshine and vast stretches of unused land, the Negev is the perfect location for large-scale solar projects. One of the most impressive examples is the Ashalim power plant, located south of Be'er Sheva, the desert's largest city. This facility isn't just another solar farm, it's a groundbreaking energy hub consisting of 3 advanced technologies. The first section features a parabolic trough system with a 121 megawatt capacity. Thousands of curved mirrors focus sunlight onto a central tube filled with heat transfer fluid, generating thermal energy that can be stored for up to 4.5 hours. This storage capability allows electricity production even when the sun sets. The second section houses an array of 50,600 heliostats, each tracking the sun's movement and directing sunlight onto a towering central receiver. This 853-foot tower, once the tallest of its kind, captures concentrated solar energy, converting it into 320 gigawatt-hours of power annually, enough to supply 120,000 homes and support agricultural activities. The third component is a photovoltaic station, smaller in scale with a 30 megawatt capacity, but still an essential contributor to the region's energy supply. Together, these 3 systems are helping turn one of the driest places on Earth into a beacon of sustainability. Ben-Gurion once said the Negev would test Israel's creativity and innovation. Decades later, the desert is not only passing that test, but redefining the future of energy. But what do you think? Are these breakthroughs enough to secure the future of water and agriculture? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating insights.